typically investments in the next big thing are reserved for big institutional investors, people with a lot of money, but that could be changing. So I'm joined today by fintech gurus Joe Endoso, the Chief Operating Officer at Linqto, and also Robin O'Connell, the Chief Revenue Officer at Uphold. And Joe and the team at Linqto are democratizing private investment, so people can get a chance to get in early on some of these big companies. And you are one of the fintech companies that Linqto is featuring. So I want to talk a little bit about that. And let's just start with what Uphold is. What is it that you do, Robin?
Sure. So Uphold is a multi-asset wallet and platform. And so basically any user can go on and they can purchase a variety of digital assets, from cryptocurrencies to fiat currencies to commodities to fractional equities. And the big thing is that you can go from anything to anything instantly.
Okay.
So it's this concept that we're moving into the world where there's more and more digital assets, you know, in the world of NFTs, in metaverses. This is all forming right now, and we're coming into a world where you need an easy way to go from one thing to another. We have a consumer business. We have about 8 million users globally. And we have a B2B business, which is what I run, where we basically are providing the plumbing for other companies who need a payments infrastructure for this new digital world.
Okay, and then you decided to offer them on your platform as well. So explain how that works. Like, how is the decision made, and then how can an investor invest in Uphold if they choose to do so?
I'll start off by saying that if you look today at what's on offer on the platform, Uphold is, in our opinion, one of the very best investments. One reason for that is that we were able to invest relatively early. So this is back in, I'd say, the second quarter of 2020, at a time when Robin's company, Uphold, probably had 1.5 million users. That compares to about 8 million today, and revenues that were less than 1/10 of what they are today.
Yeah.
So we've ridden that value curve up as that company has grown and has become increasingly profitable.
Yeah.
And we're really delighted. Why did we pick them? Number one, we're really high on the long-term prospects of the digital asset space. But it's a space that's populated by a lot of companies that frankly are great sort of marketing fronts, but don't have real solid underlying business fundamentals. Uphold, we felt, was very different because their digital wallet solution is real. It's actually so real that we selected it ourselves as our digital wallet partner. So we wanted a way for people that have assets in crypto to be able to transact on our platform and make private investments.
I see.
And so we partnered with these guys, Jane, so that they could do exactly that. So today you can take your Uphold wallet, link it to your Linqto account, and use crypto, literally, to make investments on our platform in private equity.
Oh,
yeah.
It's very, I mean, it's a brand new model of like financial investing. So how have you been handling this market and staying resilient? Because it's been really tough. I mean, particularly for crypto, it's felt like there's been a bit of a washout. Yeah, go ahead, Robin.
So one thing that we did early on was we took a path of being fully regulated. And in the world of crypto, you basically have centralized solutions that, you know, you're running KYC, AML, transaction monitoring, like any fintech, right? And you need licenses in the United States. You need money transfer licenses. So it's a big deal. It's a huge, huge cost to get these licenses, to maintain it, and then to have a robust compliance program. Now, that sounds difficult, and it is. And then the other side of the house is sort of these DeFi solutions that kind of, it's a bit of the Wild West.
Yeah.
What's happening is, and just last week, the EEA came out with new regulation that said, look, the Wild West is no more. You need to, you know, you're moving money, and it needs to be properly, you know, monitored, you know, so make sure there's no illicit activities, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of the fallout that we're seeing are sort of results of the Wild West, whereas we think we're really well positioned because there's a lot of great projects on the DeFi space, but they're going to need that regulated piece, which we offer. So back to the B2B story, and we have that regulated, licensed plumbing to allow these great companies or you know, new projects and so forth to reach their goals.
So, and Joe, explain a little bit about the research that you do into these companies. So if somebody wants to participate in Linqto's platform, how do they know they've been vetted and all of that?
Yeah. Well, I think the principal answer is that because we're using our own capital to make these investments first, and therefore taking the risk, right?
You have skin in the game.
Absolutely. 100% skin, actually, because at the very start of that process, it's only our money, right? So absolutely, we have to vet each one of these investments. And then we share, once we open those investments up to participation by our members, we share our research with our members. And if you go to our website or on our app, you can see some of that information, and you can actually call the people in the company, myself included, to get additional insights and information if you want before making an investment decision.
So talk a little bit about the growth potential for Linqto as well as Uphold.
Sure. So we last year, like many companies in the digital asset space, we saw incredible growth. We continue to see growth even though the market is down. We've maintained our large customer base that we've gained in the last couple of years. And so what we're doing now is, our company is really focused on simplicity, back to the anything to anything. And we're making some basically fundamental changes or improvements to our platform to just make it even easier for people to go from one thing to the next. So we're taking this time where there's a down market to really sort of bolster our products so that when we
this is the building time.
The building time. but look, if you believe that the world is headed in Facebook changed its name to Meta, right? Like, if you believe that this world is changing and it's going in the digital asset space, which I believe, right? Then we're basically that payment system that can help companies, do the stuff that they don't necessarily want to have to get involved with, the hard stuff, the plumbing.
Right. Yeah. Okay, and then what about Linqto and just where you're looking for growth?
Yeah, we've got growth potential on both sides of our business, right? Because it's an investment business. So on the one side, you're looking at how big is the private tech universe, because that's where we're investing. And that today is approximately $3.2 trillion in value, over 500 odd companies around the world. That's our investable universe. On the other side, there's anywhere between 80 to 100 million people around the world today who are accredited investors and can invest in these assets. So I think when you look at those numbers and you look at kind of where we are today, which is roughly 55,000 users with approximately 150 million in investments, those two numbers are tiny compared to the total addressable opportunity.
Yeah, to how big it could potentially get.
Absolutely.
And Joe, just finally explain how people can get involved with Linqto and what kind of accreditation do they need to be able to invest in these companies?
They have to be an accredited investor in the U.S. if they want to participate. That means they have in the U.S. to have an annual income of more than $200,000 and or a net worth of at least $1 million, not counting the value of their home. Right? If you're overseas, you'll be subject to your home country requirements, which may be looser than in the States, or there may be none. There are countries around the world where anybody can invest in these assets, unlike in the States. So we're open to anybody in the world, and it's an online business, so you can come in, sign up, go through our customer onboarding process, which is very quick, set up your account, and once you're set up and you've basically qualified as an accredited investor, you can click and make investments. It's relatively easy and
well, and
simple.
I told you, I love the idea of kind of democratizing all of that and giving other people a chance to get involved in the next big thing, whatever it may be. So thank you so much, Joe and Robin, for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you, Jane.